It's time for Lucas's list. Eli, you missed the last one, so maybe this one's going to look a bit confusing to you. But try not to let it muddy up your mind too much, okay?
I'll try my best. Right. No promises.
Because it's going to be epic, and you're going to love it. Just like a couple weeks ago. Starting from the bottom, the toilet. Panthers, Titans, Giants, Miami, Patriots, Jags. All of these teams lost this week, and they're all without hope. I have nothing more to say on any of them. They're in the toilet. Bad coaching or bad quarterback? Jets, Broncos, Raiders, Browns. You have bad coaching and maybe bad quarterback on the Jets at this point in his career. You have a bad quarterback on the Broncos, probably both on the Raiders. I think Minshew is a good backup, but he can't be a starter. He's a bad starter. And Browns, we know you have a coach of the year there. I think two-time coach of the year in Kevin Stefanski. So you definitely have a good coach there, but Deshaun Watson is terrible. These teams are completely lackluster. They have no real hope of making any noise or doing anything. They're just fun to bet on every now and then as like a sharp upset or something. Other than that, they're nothing. Next, need help. Colts, Rams, Arizona Cardinals, Chargers, and Bears. The Colts, I know they won a shocker against Pittsburgh. They ran it right through the gut of the Steelers with Jonathan Taylor. It's like, wow, you guys didn't see that coming? Seriously? Very strange. Rams, the injury gods are deciding this is not their year. There's really so little they can do. Cardinals, yeah, they looked frisky. Now it's like, okay, you guys are the fourth team that we kind of all predicted, right? Like, this ain't it. Some people I know had them finishing third. Some people, ooh, could this be a dark horse? They're not. Chargers, yeah, see, the problem here is they run the ball really well against bad teams, but when they can't run it, they can't throw to save their lives. They have no real consistent weapons. Herbert's not even consistent enough as a quarterback, so that's just not going to work for a team that's trying to be a wild card at best. So they definitely need help on offense. Khalil Mack been pretty nice for them, shockingly. They definitely need help. Bears, they need help because their coaching staff seems lost, not defensively, but Eberflus and their offensive coordinator I mentioned earlier, that they had to talk to him. The players have to get involved and be like, yo, let us loose a little bit. Like, come on. Caleb needs to be more accurate in the deep balls for sure. He just flat out misses them. I'm happy he's at least trying to throw them. You see some quarterbacks too afraid, but he's not. He's trying. He just keeps missing, and DJ Moore must be pulling his hair out. Absolutely brutal. These teams definitely need a bit of help. Overrated. Dallas, Philadelphia Eagles, Seahawks, and Steelers. People still talk about these teams like they're doing anything. The Seahawks, okay, they got one loss or 3-1. Let's not overreact. But people were overreacting to what they were already. Okay, you beat the Patriots and the Dolphins and some other absolute crap team that was in there, and it's like, and then your defense gives up 42 against the Lions. Like, you guys were overrated. We all knew it. No one wanted to say it because it's a nice story. Gino's respectable. Oh, he didn't write back. I don't want his letter. Right? Pittsburgh, they're overrated. People had them winning the division suddenly, and it's like, can we get real with ourselves? Can we please? This is an absolute joke. They're not winning the division. If Bengals come back from the dead, they're winning it. In all likelihood, Ravens are going to win it, though. Eagles. Tom Brady is still talking about the Eagles as if they're like, he's like, this defense is good. You know, they're going to mess with you. They're going to do things. It's like, they're not good, Tom. Like, I don't know what you're looking at. They're not a good defense. Like, get it together. Since last year, they've been the worst or one of the worst defenses in the league. And Dallas, okay, you beat the Giants. What do we do with it? You guys have been horrible so far to start the season. Next year, a tad unlucky. The Saints, Bengals, and Packers. The Saints, their past two games, they lost in one possession field goal to the Eagles. That was very close and very winnable for the Saints. This last game against the Falcons, Shaheed muffs a punt in the end zone. They lose by 2. Younghoe Koo kicks a walk-off 58-yarder. They also had a tipped ball that went flying in the air, pick 6. Like, they were really unlucky these past 2 games. I think they are going to bounce back. How far are they going to make it? I don't know, but I think they're better than people are giving them credit for. Bengals against Washington, like, come on, their defense. What was that? They scored in every possession and lost the game. They had the Chiefs on the ropes to give up a PI. You know, people say, you are what your record says you are. I don't necessarily agree with that. I feel like it's a very unnuanced take. I feel like that's only good for bad teams. But I think the Bengals are better than that. Am I worried about the defense? Yes. But I think they've been a tad unlucky so far. And the Packers, obviously with Jordan Love going down, it put them in a tough spot. Now, they did win without him with Malik Willis for 2 games. But this last game, they get him back. He's rusty. And they just fall short. If they're just a bit better, they could have beaten the Vikings in Green Bay. Next tier, time to separate. Falcons, Buccaneers, Washington. Okay, it's time. If you guys are taking over the division, this could be the week. Washington, do not lose at home to the Browns. If you're on fire like this, don't have a come-down game. Win against a bad team, as you should. Blow them out. You've been playing well enough to make this an absolute wash of a game. Cliff Kingsbury's laughing on the sideline like it's nothing. Falcons and Bucks play each other on Thursday night. I think whoever wins this game likely wins the division. I do think it will be Atlanta, but Bucks have played really well. Baker's been on fire. I do think he's going to come. There's going to be a come-down point for him, but now's the time to separate. Falcons, Bucks, take over the division. 3 divisions, Texans, 49ers, Bills. So the Jaguars are winless. Colts are lost with Anthony Richardson. He can't complete some high school level concepts. The Titans are a joke. Who are they starting now? Mason Rudolph. Texans are winning this division by a landslide. Niners, yeah, it's tough. I wanted Rams to win this division badly. Like I mentioned earlier, injury gods say that ain't happening. Peace. For the Niners, looking real nice. Bills, it's the freest as it's ever been. Patriots are terrible. Jets just lost 10-9 to Denver. Dolphins have no quarterback. There's no chance Bills go into this division. Next, stuck to the script. Lions Vikings were on this tier last week when it was called stick to the script. They remain. Ravens flying by, running the ball. Derrick Henry, feed the beast. You're going to win a bunch of games. It takes a lot of pressure off your defense. Keep your Lions, run the ball, play action. Jared Goff was absolutely clicking. As soon as they get the run game going, he turns around and just launches it down the field. Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, he catches one. Stick to the script. Vikings, I said the script is throw Justin Jefferson. He led the team again in receiving. He was unreal. So that's free. Next, Pyrrhic victory. I know you guys probably don't know what it means.
I had to look it up.
But it means basically costly. And they lost Rashee Rice in this one. That might be the difference between them getting to and or winning the Super Bowl. But the Chiefs still undefeated, still do not beat themselves, still win games that they have no business winning. Still have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. They are the best team in the NFL. Thoughts, complaints, compliments?
This is quite the list, honestly. I only have one issue with this list.
Really?
Yeah, and that's the Chargers are unlucky. More than anything else, honestly. They were doing really well until Justin Herbert got injured, and they do not belong at the same level as, I don't know, these other teams that are dysfunctional at this moment. Also, the Rams are a bit unlucky too, but they're more than a tad unlucky, so you can't even put them up there with your dumb list names.
Well, there's literally a tier in between that, buddy. Don't get caught up on the names. It's just up or down.
It's
okay?
about the
Just
names
chill.
for me, man.
Well, stop.
The names do trip.
Well, stop it. It's up or down, okay?
No, I agree with pretty much everything.
Okay, my only thing with the Chargers is I think they were also feasting on the corpses of shitters early in the year. And then they go against Pittsburgh's tough defense. They get stumped. Chiefs' tough defense, stumped. So it's like, were you as good as you were looking? No.
You know where my issue is going to be. You know where it's going to be, and it's highlighted already.
Yeah, it's hard to
It's
tell.
highlighted
You guys
already.
highlighting every single word on the page.
Okay. And this isn't a homer thing. This is me looking at this from an unbiased, objective point of view here. Okay.
Doubt it.
The Seahawks need to move up at least one tier. I will say they're on the Saints, Bengals, Packers level. I mean, the Bengals being on that level is just weird. Yeah, because man, they lose one game when a bunch of their defensive pieces are banged up, and they played so competitive against the Lions, a team who's supposed to go to the Super Bowl. Right, one of the best teams in the league. And I mean, like people always say, yeah, you beat up 3 shitters. Those wins don't count, but they do because good teams lose to these shitter teams all the time. All right, so it's not like they're just winning give me games, right? They're actually they have a good defensive structure. Mike McDonald has looked excellent, and I think their offense is clicking. Gino's been playing the best ball of his career, some could say. So I think, from what we've seen in 4 games, they deserve to be up one level for sure. And then I think the Saints need a drop, to be honest. I think the Saints need to drop one level to overrated because those first 2 weeks, they just kind of blew it out of proportion with them scoring so many points. That's not going to happen again. They've sort of come back down to earth, lost 2 in a row. Now they play the Chiefs. They could easily lose 3 in a row. I think their offense isn't nearly as good as what it looked like in the first 2 games.
I agree with that last part about the offense. But if the Saints lose, yeah, will they come down? Probably. It depends how they play. But this isn't just about your record either. So I get it. 3 wins for the Seahawks. but it doesn't matter. It's like everything is taken into account. Your past, there's a bit of prognostication in here. The present obviously is taken into it. And you see that game against the Lions is way more competitive as I did. I never had a doubt as that game went on. I was like,
you didn't have a doubt.
They were up
But
14
It was never in doubt.
It was in doubt. It was in doubt because
For one
if
drive.
if the Seahawks got that 2-point conversion, they got to stop on the Lions that next drive, and they were marching down the field again, and they could have tied up the game on that one drive. But that's the drive they needed, and it was just one little referee mistake. And
I literally said to you in real
it.
time, I said I could see them scoring another touchdown, but not winning the game.
But
they never led.
They were hanging right there. If their
They
defense
never
made
led.
a couple more,
They were down by 2 touchdowns 2 different times. Like
I know, but they just kept fighting back though. Every drive they were answering with a touchdown of their own. It felt like, right?
Listen,
like
the offense didn't worry me at all. I was like, well, the offense playing really well. It was the defense. I was like, well, what are you guys going to do now?
Yeah,
the quarterback was perfect, man. He didn't throw an incompletion. He set an NFL record.
But they're not overrated though. I wouldn't say they were overrated. I would say they hung with the Lions for sure.
They were overrated. You thought they were going to win the game outright. They were definitely overrated.
I did, and they had a good chance.
Of the tiers, they're playing above their heads. They're not overrated.
Stop getting hung up on the names. All right,
okay.
That's the issue.
All right, so move the Seahawks up. They're going to win against the Giants. Would you move them up? To do or keep them in the same place?
Maybe. It depends how they play.
I feel like a win over the Giants can't carry much water.
Well, if they shit kick them, not a Dallas kind of win.
Yeah, if they blow them out, that'll mean something to me.
Not a Dallas shitter.
Win is going backwards, you know.
You drop a tier if you beat the Jets for Dallas.
Exactly.
If you're a good team, beat the crap out of the bad ones. I think that's important. So yeah, if the Seahawks blow them out, that'll mean something to me. But it also depends on how all the rest of the teams go and where they land with the rest of those teams. Like, do I trust them against any of the teams on their tier? Dallas, Eagles, Steelers? Not really. Could they win any of those games? Yeah, obviously. Do I trust them against any of them? Not really. I would take all the teams above them to beat them too. All of them.
I just love their coaching too, and I think it deserves to be higher. I haven't seen really any mistakes from McDonald yet.
Yeah, and we'll see the Saints.
He's been pretty competent.
The Saints obviously weren't what they were with the whole, never having to punt and scoring on every drive. Obviously, that was not going to sustain itself. But they were against the Eagles, who had a crazy good defensive game for once. And then they were against division rival Falcons in a weird game where they're turning the ball over too much. And it was in Atlanta, too. So it's like the Saints, I think people are selling a bit too much stock. I'm not saying that they're like, this absolute juggernaut, but I just think they're a slightly above average football team.
Okay. Yeah, move the Seahawks up, though. They've proved that they deserve to be up one.
Well, we'll see. But
they do, man.
I will say this.
They do.
So between the two of you, that's only 3 things that you don't like.
Wait. I haven't got to my next one. Don't
make it up.
It isn't made up. I was thinking about this. Okay, what reason do you have not to put the Vikings on that top tier? Because their defense has been amazing, one of the best defenses in the league, and also their offense has been amazing, better than most seasons with Kirk. So it's like Darnold's throwing dots. You got Jordan Addison back, gets 2 touchdowns his first game back. You have Aaron Jones, who's having a great season so far. So, what's wrong about that team where you can't put them at the very top? Because the Chiefs have not looked like a team that deserves to be on the top. They just haven't. They've been getting lucky wins, well-coached wins, but I don't think they're a scarier team than the Vikings or even a better team than the Vikings.
Vikings didn't score a point in the second half.
They didn't need to.
They almost lost.
Yeah, they almost lost.
They did, but they still won.
Here's the thing. I think the defense is being coached up to a point that's kind of beyond their talent level right now. I don't think they're nearly as talented as they're playing. I think they're going to come down. Also, Sam Darnold is their quarterback, whereas he's playing unreal right now. There's no question. He might be the MVP right now if this season were to end. But there is obviously something in the past I have to consider about Sam Darnold, where this guy's moved from team to team and it hasn't worked. So it's like, are people going to figure this team out? I think that's possible. Yeah, the Chiefs are lucky. I think you'll find that a lot of great teams are extremely lucky. The Patriots sure as hell were. So, that's just – luck is just where skill and preparation meets opportunity, in my opinion. So,
but, that's
where the Chiefs are. Are the Vikings better than the Lions? I don't know. I don't think so. But, are they at least on the same tier? I'll give them to that right now. if the Ravens were to play them today, I would pick the Ravens. That's a lot of the NFC factor that Lamar has. But that's a massive issue that I have where it's like Sam Darnold worries me. He worries me.
Well, but looking at it right now from what we've seen this season, they should be on top. They're undefeated, obviously. And even if you don't take that record into play, they've been so dominant every week.
If I was just looking at this season and didn't know anything about football, yes, they would be on the same tier as the Chiefs.
Well, like also not looking into the future, like how they should play. Like right up until now, the Vikings deserve to be on Pyrrhic victory.
Yeah, so if I don't look at the past and I make no predictions.
I said future.
I said that too. If I don't make any predictions.
Yeah, well, you said past. All right.
Yeah, but you also said you said look at right now.
Stop predicting the past, Lucas.
You don't predict the past. That's not how that even works.
That's what I'm saying. Stop doing
I'm not.
You tried.
It's not possible, man. Like, what am I, fucking Doctor Strange? No, like, get real.
bad reference. Boo.
Hey, I don't like him either, bro.
Doom.
Yeah, Doom that reference.
You're the one making me say it.